Hello and welcome to COOKBARN, coming to you live from Somerset. It's a weird day today. It's a little bit humid, a little bit wet and a little bit sunny. My name's Rich Brown and every week I invite a smorgasbord of cooks, gastronauts and some of my friends to come and do some cooking for me, or I do some cooking for them. This week we've got the fabulously vegetarian Lisa Marie Taylor. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, good. Busy?
Manic, but
Is it?
lovely, yes, thank you.
You've had birthday parties, you've been away.
Yeah, birthday parties, nice girls' weekend away.
Fabulous.
Life is good. Yeah, busy but good. Thank you.
Excellent. Done any cooking?
Not a huge amount. I've been cooked for, which is quite nice. Just going out when we were away was lovely. What have I cooked this week? I did a nice lasagna, like a creamy courgette lasagna, which was lovely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've been cooking? I've been cooking endless bowls of vichyssoise.
Really?
Yeah. Which I cooked it on a show about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't cooked it probably for 5 or 6 years, and I've just forgotten how lovely it was. Leaky potato soup, basically. Absolutely gorgeous. And I had a bit of a tooth problem, which is why my chin's a little bit swollen up. And of course, eating soup is brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I made probably 4 gallons of vichyssoise. Just had it in the fridge, kept eating it.
That's nice though.
Yeah, it was very nice. On Sunday we've got something nice. We've got a Boston bottom, which is a piece of pork. It's like the bum basically of the cow. So like a big lump of
pork. Did you
sorry,
say
of the pig.
Right. Okay.
So it's sort of like a crackling top on a huge big lump, and you slow cook it. You rub it with a load of stuff and put it in the oven for 5 hours. So
have you got that this Sunday or?
Got this, this Sunday. Yeah.
Very nice.
So I might do a Sunday lunch live, a Sunday lunch roast live to see how it goes.
Why not?
It's a separate thing. Problem with doing a Sunday lunch, of course, is that you've got to put everything in the oven, and it's like takes hours and hours to do. So you have 2 of them, and just gets a bit complicated.
I think the nice thing is though is to learn the different things that people do. So the different cuts of meat, the different ways of cooking things. I mean, crikey, how many different ways are there to make roast potatoes? Every year the debate starts again about what the best way to do it is. So actually people know what a roast dinner looks like. They don't need to see necessarily the finished product, but they can see what you do, where the magic happens.
Yeah.
So.
What are we cooking today then, Lise? Well, I know what we're cooking. You tell the guests.
So today we're going to be doing we've got an Italian theme, haven't we, this week? So we're going to be doing a Caesar salad, and we're going to be making some Caesar salad dressing, which is lovely. And we're also going to be using some corn products today. So I'm going to use some corn fillets in the Caesar salad, and we're also going to be doing an Orzo Pasta dish with some corn pieces in. But it's a really lovely one with kind of summer vegetables, fresh herbs, ricotta, lemon, chilli, all those kind of flavours.
Now, when you said Orzo, I didn't really understand. I'd never heard of it, I must say.
No, it's a lovely pasta to work with. So it's it is a pasta, but it's kind of rice shaped and sized.
It looks like a big grain of rice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like the rice that you put in risottos and that sort of stuff.
Exactly. And yeah, I think traditionally in Italy it's made with pearl barley, but and I think that's where the orzetto comes from.
And we're doing that with chilli and corn pieces.
So yeah, corn pieces, so like fake chicken basically, but it's going to be a 1 pot, which is just a Brucey bonus because there's only 1 pot to wash at the end.
And I'm doing some mozzarella and basil stuffed dough balls, which I actually did make last week just to practice them, and they were quite nice.
Very nice.
I made some normal ones because the kids don't like cheese, so I made some just normal dough balls.
Yeah.
The only problem with them is they're a little bit big. They rose a little bit too big.
Not an
and
issue.
They became small bread rolls as opposed to dough balls. But,
I don't think anyone would ever say a big dough ball is a problem. So very nice.
So yes, I'm going to be cooking those. I'm going to cook them in front of everybody, or prepare them in front of everyone. But of course, they do need proofing for a good sort of half hour, 3/4 of an hour, which we don't have time to do. So I have made some earlier, which I've been still proofing now.
Okay.
So we'll put those in the oven. I'll show you how to make them. We'll put those in the oven, but we'll at least have something to show people.
Amazing.
So first things first, then.
Yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to start with the salad. And as we know, I love a homemade crouton. So we're going to be making our own.
As much as I love a red onion.
Exactly. We're going to be making some of our own croutons just to get started.
Fabulous.
So I've got some. This just happens to be an organic bloomer bread. I think people often try to use old stale bread for croutons, but you really don't need to. Whatever you've got is brilliant. I'm just gonna.
I'm looking by your by the fact that you've got a baking sheet that you're going to bake these.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I've been going wrong all these years, because I've always fried them and they just become big, sort of greasy.
Okay.
Balls of dough.
So I'm actually just going to tear these up to give it a little bit of a
rustic feel. Have you been to Italy? We're doing Italian. Have you been to Italy?
Yes, love Italy. We've been to Rome several times. We did the most amazing. You would have loved it. You and Kath would love it. We did. We went with some friends, and I was teaching at the time, and they're both teachers as well. So we had to go on the holidays. We went to Rome. Had a few days in Rome, which was just stunning. For me, that is like a proper home from home. I love it there.
And did you go around all the...
Did all the sites, everything.
Yeah.
And luckily we'd been sort of 2 or 3 times before, so it was just nice to enjoy being there. And then we were trying to do a bit of a road trip and make the most of our week. So we woke up on our last day in Rome. We had breakfast in Rome. We had lunch in Siena, in the square. And then we had dinner, where were we? In Florence, I think it was. But we did the lakes, we did all sorts. Dave's sister actually got married in Siena as well, so we went there
on that occasion?
in the square, not in that occasion.
Okay.
But she got married in the square in Siena. It was stunning.
There's a couple of really nice films that I've watched where they get married in Italy, and one of the things that the Spanish or generally people say about I think the Italians say about Spain is that'd be lovely when it's finished. And it's one of the things I've always noticed when you go to Spain, it sort of is a little bit unfinished, you know, there's a lot of stuff there. Whereas in Italy, it's sort of, the unfinished stuff actually is just very, very lovely.
Adds to the romance of it, doesn't it?
Does,
Whereas
you go
in
past
Spain,
a
it doesn't.
building and it's sort of beautiful. And as you go past one and it's got aquaprops and sort of big pots of sand.
Somehow it's charming.
We used to go to Italy a lot. We used to go on holiday with Mum and Dad to Locarno, which is on Lake Maggiore.
Right.
And Lake Maggiore, half of it's in Italy and half of it's in Spain. So we had a little rubber boat with a little engine on the back.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I remember of my childhood is we used to get in the boat. We used to take the boat over to Italy, which only take like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We'd dock up, we'd get our passports out. We would go tie our boat up, go across into the little village, have a pizza, go and have some ice cream, and then jump back and some wine and some beer, of course.
Obviously.
It was a lot cheaper in Italy than it is in Switzerland, and pop back. And
doesn't that feel like a world away at the moment? Just the thought of being able to do that is just...
And I also did the most amazing job over in Italy about 5 years ago. It was the World Carp Championships, which is basically the sort of international fishing competition.
Right.
Just a massive event. 2,000 fishermen fishing 24 hours a day for 7 days around this massive lake.
What?
Just outside Rome. It was about an hour's drive from Rome. It's a volcanic lake, completely round.
Why on God's green earth would you want to do that?
Well, we got paid for it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
and our job was to go around. We basically drove around there, and there was 3 media crews. So we drove around the lake with comms and everything. And as soon as we heard like fish on Pier 23, we'd get to that pier as quickly as we could. Get a drone up, get underwater cameras, film the fish. And, these fish are enormous, great big things, and they bring them in, they look after them. If they have a vet there, if the fish isn't well, they repair it, they'll do stuff to it, and then they photograph it, weigh it, and release it.
And what's the aim of the 7 days thing? Why?
To catch the most kilos of fish in 7 days. So.
And this just happens to be an ongoing record that they pursue.
There's 250 different teams. A team consists of 5 people.
Wow.
I mean, these people it's almost professional. I mean, they're all sponsored. They have the best kit. Then we did a live show every single night. So all the fish that was caught during the daytime, we would have to go back, make little VTs over it.
Yeah.
And then we would do a live show. We'd invite people in. It was up at the local. It was a tiny little village. It was up at the local church that we did this.
Yeah.
And we sort of set up a studio up on the stage and everything. Did a live show for 2 or 3 hours. We were getting 50, 60,000 viewers on a live show. We took a satellite dish over on the plane. I mean, the whole so we could get a decent signal because we were in this tiny little village. But it was stunning. I mean, we let's get back to food very quickly. And we must find out what we were doing. But at night time, we were always we got sort of left out of the food. They sort of made loads of food up and sort of delivered it to people. We were just never around at that time.
Yeah.
So at about 10 o'clock, we would get some expenses. We'd go up to this little bar that we found. Every single day, so it was our lunchtime. And to say, we called her Mama by the end of it.
Yeah.
She embraced us when we walked in. But we'd have a pizza. A pizza and beer was, I think, €6. And if we really were hungry, we'd throw another sort of couple of euros in and get a nice salad as well. But at the end of the meal, she would put a litre bottle of limoncello and the equivalent of a coffee liqueur, just in a plain bottle that she'd made on the table. And so help yourself. It's on the house. You know, you're sort of friends now. So on the first night, we had a few glasses, and she came over. She said, "Oh, you know, you haven't drunk much. Do you not like it? Oh, okay, well, a few more glasses."
Don't upset Mama.
No. And we got home. I couldn't stand. Could not. And I went back and spoke to her. I said, "What do you put in this? Just 70% or 40% gin?" She said, "No, it's 70% rubbing spirit." So it was a 7 with like all these lemons in it and sugar and oh my days. We spent some ill evenings. But yeah, enough of my limoncello. I love limoncello though.
Wow.
Do you like limoncello?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So what are we doing?
Lovely.
What have you done to
So we've just broken up the bread, popped it into a bowl, and I think that's the important bit, is to mix it really, really thoroughly with some decent olive oil and just some salt and pepper. Obviously, if
would you say that's drenched in olive oil?
Not drenched, because it's a bit like what you were saying. You don't want no one wants a greasy crouton, do they? So it's kind of like a bit of a fine balance. You want it to be coated, but not kind of swimming in the stuff. And obviously, the more you make them, you might want to do garlic flavours or anything you want, really. Some different herbs and spices, but I'm going to keep it quite simple today and just do some salt and pepper ones, because they are usually the best.
Lovely.
A bit more of that in there.
Should we do our wine tasting?
Oh yeah, let me pop these in. So this is just be in for about 10 minutes, so don't let me forget. Famous last words. Right.
So today, Lisa Marie,
Yes.
we have a bottle of Prosecco.
Yes.
Let's have a show and tell. Can we see that? Yeah. So this is an Italian Prosecco, obviously. It's a 1919. It's a Vino Spumante. Now what I did was I went into went to Sainsbury's, and I had a look down the aisle. Obviously, we wanted something Italian.
Yeah.
And the majority of the Proseccos were about £6.50, £7. So I thought, well, okay, let's go for a £10 one. Let's just see if there's any difference. And I know that you drink a bottle of this every day, so you'll probably be able to tell us.
It's in my blood.
Shall I fire this out?
Yeah, do it.
Should we go on camera 4?
At least, yeah.
Ready? I'm not going to hit camera 4. Oh,
Hey.
no. Did you know as well, when you crack a bottle of champagne, if you turn it like that, immediately it will never come over the top?
I'm guessing that's just because it all goes north, doesn't it? And if it's on the slant, it's going into the side of the bottle, isn't it? Rather than, do you see what I mean?
I do. I don't know whether I believe it, but
you say it with enough conviction.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, it's lovely and fizzy.
Looks amazing.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers,
Cheers
to everyone.
right there.
Cheers.
That's quite nice, isn't it?
That's
Now, you
lovely.
see, I don't really like Prosecco. I think it's a bit of a...
Really?
I don't know, the aftertaste is always a bit to me. But this is actually quite good, isn't it? Well, you tell me, you're the Prosecco alky.
Tastes quite dry,
Yeah.
but I would always go for a dry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them too sweet.
No. Are you liking it?
I am.
Yeah. Is it worth a bit more?
Maybe. I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to work out what I can taste in there. Maybe it's because I've got a cheap palate.
Let's see what it says. Extra dry sparkling wine. That's it. Contains sulfates. 10.5% volume. Shall we have another look at it? That's what it was. £10 from Sainsbury's.
I would say it's not quite as fruity as some of them. Some of them are often quite kind of peachy, aren't they? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just different.
I always think of Prosecco, do you know, it's something that you'd mix something with and sort of have it in the morning, you know, like if you're getting,
I like your style, that
is. A bit of liqueur in it, or some strawberry juice. Or
Chambord is lovely. Do you have it with the raspberry liqueur? Oh my goodness.
Something like that. We've been spoilt a little bit. Every time we had a child, we've had 3. Kathy's brother Bob has always bought us a bottle of Dom Perignon Reserve. So it's like
very nice.
160 quid's worth of champagne.
Have you drunk any of them, or have you kept
Oh
them?
yeah, immediately. And when you've drunk a Dom Perignon, it's just a
bit hard to go back.
Sort of thing. What are you putting in the pan, Ellie?
So I am putting in a couple of corn fillets. So these, I don't know if you want to see.
Well, you've got a little camera there, yeah.
Yay.
Does that camera work, Kath? Oh, there we go. Look at that show and tell.
So this is a little bit like fake chicken.
Yeah.
But you haven't been able to buy these. Fickin. You haven't been able to buy these
Have you not?
for ages. Ages and ages and ages. Like maybe 2 years.
Did they just take them off the market,
the other day, I'm guessing it might be a COVID-related issue. But I found them the other day and haven't stopped buying them since. My freezer's full of them. They are amazing.
My freezer's full of them now as well.
Yeah. I'll convert you if it kills me. And again, these are brilliant because not only are they full of protein, but they are reasonable. You can cook them straight from the freezer. So this is from the freezer, obviously. I can cook this and refreeze it. How good is that?
Brilliant.
And yeah, it's just a really, really, really versatile product. So we're going to use this today, sort of pretend that it's a piece of chicken from top of our Caesar salad. But you could cut these up and put them in sandwiches. You can do anything you want. They're just so, so good.
Where Corn have developed sort of different products, so they've got the sort of chicken breast there and they've got the other products, do they flavour them differently?
No.
Or is this like your base sort of...
This would be like a base one. I haven't seen any... They don't really flavour the Corn chicken. They'll do chicken nuggets, and you can buy these southern fried bites. So the breadcrumb coating is like a southern fried, so it's kind of black pepper. It's really, really nice. They do peppered steaks, which are really nice. And I was going to suggest us doing like a stir fry at some point with those because they are so good. My little boy loves them. And they're kind of slightly spicy. They're obviously peppered, but they do have some flavour. But I would say it's more of on the outside, really.
And then the chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
I saw on the,
it's just
and they
endless.
do another thing. Is it, I want to say a rib type thing that I saw in the freezer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they do. The only thing that I'm thinking in the freezer they do this exact sort of Corn fake chicken, but in like a cylindrical kind of roll, like a baked bean tin, and it's like just a Corn roast, and you can shove that in. I think it takes about an hour to cook, but it's so good. You can have that with your Sunday lunch, and then you could be eating it for the rest of the week.
And then presumably they also do a beef substitute, which is sort of like a...
That would be more like, these steak strips.
So if you're doing a chili con carne, for example...
Oh, God, yeah. The Corn mince.
The Corn mince.
Yeah. That is so good for spaghetti bolognese, for chili.
And one of the things we also love about this is the price, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so reasonable.
It's really cheap.
And the fact that you can buy even the fresh box that I'll use in a minute for the pasta that we're doing, you can buy that fresh and again, just freeze it straight away. And then you haven't even got to be worrying about best before dates. I don't know about you, but I would imagine if I was a meat eater, I'd be in all sorts of trouble with like food going off and stuff. But I never even think about it. It just goes straight in the freezer.
Have you got a big freezer at home?
I've got 3. I know. How good is that? So yeah, I'm thoroughly spoilt. The only thing I would say, and I don't mean this as a negative at all, it's just something to consider if you've never used Corn before, is that it's quite a thirsty product. It absorbs a lot, so it's quite good. It absorbs a lot of flavour. But I've just used a little bit of olive oil in the pan there, and very quickly that will kind of become absorbed. So what I tend to do is pop a little bit of water in with it. And not only does it make it all really, really moist, but it just keeps it off the bottom of the pan. There's no burning. You can kind of just relax a little bit about it. It's not spitting all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's just something to bear in mind if you haven't ever cooked with Corn at all. Like there, you've got to spit and you just pop a little bit of water in.
And it's funny because we've with the 3 boys in the house and they're all really interested in their cooking.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got to show you something in a minute. Louis bought. You'll laugh. With the boys. And Louis, Oscar's sort of now. Oscar goes down to Torquay. He was going to join the Marines 6 months ago. He now goes down to Torquay, goes surfing with a load of vegetarians and vegans.
Good boy.
So when he goes, so when he started going down there, he'd be taking a big steak down with his big frying pan. And no, he doesn't. And he said he came down today. He said, I said we were doing the show at Corn. And he said, yeah, you've got to start cooking with that, Dad. He said, maybe just like to begin with, why don't you just replace half your mincemeat with some Corn? That's just going to be good for us. And I said, that's not a bad idea. We'll do that. We'll see what it tastes like. Maybe that's one that I can do. Yeah. And then he came down and he said, he said I basically eat vegetarian when I'm away now. He said, he said it's so easy. Yeah. He said, for example, the vegetarian sausages. He said you don't need to refrigerate them. He said you don't, they
haven't got the drama, have you? Especially if you're camping, you haven't got to worry as much.
He goes away for 3 days. We've got to have cool bags and ice, and meat goes off very, very quickly. Chicken breast. You've got to be really careful with this stuff. This is just really, really easy to do.
The Corn sausages They've got a few different varieties now, and they're all lovely. But there's one in particular, and they're called Best of British, and they are so lovely. And the nice thing is, I think a lot of vegetarian products don't hold their shape particularly well, but they really, really do. So they're great for kind of slicing through pasta dishes or whatever you might need.
I'm going to start on my dough balls, Lise.
Oh, go for it.
I'm just going to show everyone because in the true spirit of a cooking show, here's one I made earlier.
Absolutely.
I only made these. Oh my God, they got enormous. I've only made them. Where we go? Where are we going back a bit? There we go. So these are ones I made earlier. I made these at about 4 o'clock and proofed them for about 2 hours now. They were about half that size before.
Right.
So we're going to put these in the oven,
Okay.
and these are the ones that we're going to show everyone. These are stuffed with. I'll show you in a minute what we stuffed them with. But if you wouldn't mind just.
Well, do you know, you just reminded me that's exactly 10 minutes to get the old croutons out. So
What's your oven on, Lisa?
we can swap 180.
Is that? You stick mine in the other oven.
Oh, hang on a minute. I'm just doing batter.
Right, you all right?
Okay, I'll leave them to go. What temperature do yours need to be on?
If you stick these, I've put them up a little bit, so they're on, that other oven's on 200. So if you just turn that down a tad and stick these in the middle shelf.
Turn it down.
Yeah, just to sort of, 6 o'clock. And then what I'll do is I'm going to get some of my bits over to show you what I've done. This is so easy. Dough balls. We've gone out and bought them. When we have spaghetti bolognese probably once a fortnight in our house. It's just a sort of really easy.
It's a good crowd pleaser, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it's just really easy to make. It's a one-pot job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice fresh pasta, and I do like a cheesy pasta. So we do a cheesy pasta. But this is so easy. Now you've gone to Sainsbury's, you've seen the dough balls, and say they want £2 for like 8 of them.
Yeah.
It's really easy. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to reset my scales, get them on the right unit, because that would be a disaster. And I don't want to do that. There we go, grams. Okay, so this recipe is really easy. 300 grams of strong white flour.
Okay.
This is not self-raising. And we're going to sieve that. I'm not going to sieve it really high like I did last time, although that was a rather
fabulous
televisual moment. Right, so 300 grams. We're there. We're perfect. Do you need me to do anything with my show and tell camera, Kath? Can you see anything with it? Shall I do that? There we go. Okay. So we've got that. I don't really need my scales anymore because I sort of guessed the rest of it. So I need some warm water. Well, these are the only two things you can't guess. Is your warm water really, because you need it to. So it's 175 millilitres of warm water. That's a little bit too much. And you've got to be a little bit precise with this because otherwise it gets a little bit sticky and a little bit rubbishy. And then we're going to put in some yeast. Now we use 7 grams of yeast.
Okay.
But you don't have to. You can use a little bit more and they'll rise more, or you can use a little bit less. But 7 grams is roughly, you can get us a teaspoon at least. Roughly a teaspoon. Thank you very much. So we're going to put a teaspoon of this yeast, quite a lot, a heaped teaspoon of this yeast into the warm water. Give that a stir around. I'm just going to leave that for a second to start bubbling away. And then into this we're going to put a teaspoon of salt. So, teaspoon of salt. We're going to put a tablespoon of some sugar. Now, the recipe says caster sugar, but we've run out of caster sugar, so it's going to be I'm going to use a couple of teaspoons of, I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of caster sugar, of normal sugar into that. And then some olive oil. It's about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, roughly. There we go. One of the things about making pizza dough is, and I make a lot of, I've got my pizza oven outside, so I do quite a bit of pizza dough, is it's not an exact thing, it's that what the exact thing is getting the dough into the right consistency to roll out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've put quite a lot of yeast into my dough when I first started, and what it produced was really big bubbly pizzas. So as they came out, they sort of had great big bubbly crusts on them.
Yeah. They say, don't they? You've just got to get your hands involved and get to know your oven, your ways of doing things.
Yeah. And the secret is with doing anything like this is try and only get one hand involved. Because it's a bind if you've got a bit of a scratch on your nose or something. So what are we doing?
Right.
Have we
so these are still cooking away. I just need to start making my dressing.
Okay.
If that's good with you.
So this is a Caesar salad dressing. Is this like a typical Caesar salad dressing?
Yeah.
Because I do have some Caesar salad in a bottle in there.
Do you?
Lucy's Caesar salad dressing.
Oh.
We could do a taste comparison.
Test. Oh goodness, the pressure's on.
I know, it is, isn't it?
Well, I wanted to kind of start making my own dressing because Dave and I will often have like a Caesar salad for dinner, but it does obviously rely on having Caesar salad dressing. It's almost like the dressing is one of the most important components, isn't it? It's not a Caesar salad unless you've got the dressing.
No.
And it's actually surprisingly difficult to find dressings that are vegetarian. A lot of them use anchovies, which is fair enough because that is the traditional kind of recipe, I think. Anyway, so I'd then be finding dressing, but obviously by the time you have one Caesar salad, by the time you come around to eating Caesar salad again, the dressing may or may not still be your friend. So I just wanted to get good at making it so that...
Why could it not be your friend?
Well, it just goes off.
Does it?
And then, yeah. So we're going to make our own, and we're going to start with 1 egg yolk, just the yolk, and 2 cloves of garlic. And what you want to do, we definitely need to use a food processor. We can't be using like your Ninja or anything today because it's we need to drizzle.
Powerful.
We need to drizzle the oil as we go. And if you've got, because the ingredients are all fairly low quantities, if you've got like a mini bowl and a mini blade, that's what you need to use really. So.
It needs to be whizzed up though, doesn't it? You can't just chop that finely.
Absolutely, and also because you need to drizzle the oil while the rest of it is wazzing up, you need to be able to feed it through. So we're going to get, that's a bit big, teaspoon.
Would that be better? Should I come over here?
Teaspoon of Dijon.
I do love Dijon mustard.
Is it the mustard of choice in your house?
There's a lot of mustards of choice in our house, Lisa. Because we do like on a German sausage, we do like a nice German sweet mustard.
Okay.
So if we have a Bockwurst or a Frankfurt or something like that.
What's that, like a hot dog mustard, like an American mustard?
Yeah, yeah, it's slightly like that. They also have this thing which is like a tomato. If you imagine a tomato ketchup.
Yeah.
And they do it's called currywurst. So it's like quite a big sausage. I'm going to move over here now. It's quite a big sausage. Which they sort of griddle, so it's sort of fried up basically.
Yeah,
and then they pour this sort of ketchup-y type stuff onto it.
Okay.
And sort of drizzle some curry powder onto it. And it sounds gross, but
nice.
It's really, really nice. So that's a currywurst. So what was that going in?
That's 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, which is roughly the juice from half a lemon. So we've got 1 egg yolk, 2 garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of Dijon, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and then you want roughly 4 tablespoons of Parmesan. I'm actually going to use pecorino today because again you struggle to find Parmesan that isn't made using calf's rennet.
Right, rewind all this again because you've completely lost. Remember, I'm new to the whole vegetarian.
So most Parmesans are made using calf's rennet, which obviously
right, okay, I'm with
means
you.
they're not vegetarian.
Right.
So I do think you are able to find some vegetarian cheeses that are similar to that. One of them, not quite similar because it's pecorino, so it's made using sheep's milk, but it tastes very, very similar and it's lovely. So, and it's vegetarian. So you've got a clear conscience.
Where does rennet come from? Is that the staff's something inside the cows?
I think it's inside the stomachy kind of stomach lining, is it?
So what's normal rennet? Does that come from an animal?
I don't really know. I don't know what the substitute is when they don't use calf's rennet. I'm not sure what the substitute is, but yeah.
Is it always used in cheese making?
I don't know.
No.
I guess certain cheeses, certain processes maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you not have the problem with where's my board? I put it somewhere and I've lost it. Oh, you've used it.
Oh, Kath gave it to me. I promise it wasn't me stealing it. Kath was very kind and got it for me earlier.
Is there another one, is there? Well, I'm not going to cook these, so I can just put them on a tray. Right, I'm going to cut these up into sort of smallish pieces.
Smallish, I like it.
Well, as you'll see from the ones in the oven, they are quite.
There's nothing small about them.
I'm going to just do a couple of these because I'm going to bore everyone with rolling out pizza dough and stuffing it. It's not that interesting. So what I'll do is I'll put that in there. We'll have that later.
So we've got our ingredients in here. I'm just going to get it started on the lowest possible setting. I'm just going to start drizzling the oil in very slowly. And that's it. That. And I think it's one of those things that logic kind of goes out the window a little bit, because if it's too thick, you don't add more oil. The oil is actually what makes it thicker. So if it's too thick, you actually add water, which goes against the grain as well.
It's a little bit like mayonnaise, isn't it? It's the same sort of process of making mayonnaise. That's slow and steady.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. Does every mother say that? Because Kath's favourite saying as well.
Really? Slow and steady wins the race?
She must have said that to kids a million times.
Ah.
I mean, the point is, slow and steady doesn't win the race. It's really fast and furious wins the race, isn't it? Slow and steady, you come fourth.
No, I'm with Kath, I think.
Oh, yeah. Can I carry on, Kath? Will I be in the way? I'm going to be in the way, aren't I? You sure?
I'm going to be a bit boring for a minute, so you go for it. That's all I'm doing until it all...
Well, I'm going to roll out. I'm only going to do 2 of these, so I'm just going to get my rolling pin. I'm going to get some basil from over here.
Are your dough balls okay? How long do they need?
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good. Get a bit of basil. All right. So, are we seeing this, Kath, on my little camera? Yeah. So we're going to roll these out. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on. I'm going to roll these out. So just go to the quantities of this. This is 300 grams of normal white flour. 7 grams of yeast, which is basically a teaspoonful. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now I've rolled it out. I'm going to get so I bought this. Can you see that, Kath? That is a grated cheddar and mozzarella. And I find using the both of them is much nicer. Mozzarella is a little bit creamy, and cheddar's
very stringy, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's got a little bit of a poke to it. So I'm going to get my mozzarella and put it into the centre.
Do you find it easier using the stuff that is pre-grated? Obviously, because you haven't got to grate it, but in terms of how well it works. Because it is so different.
Have you ever tried grating mozzarella?
Well, yeah, I know.
You sort of can't really
but even normal cheddar cheese, it's almost coated in something to preserve it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot easier to work with.
I must admit, I've used this before, and it is really, really nice. And I'm not quite sure how they grate the mozzarella up.
No.
I mean, it's got 60% mozzarella and 30% cheddar. So I've got that. Can you see that, Kath? I'm going to put a little bit of pepper into that.
Wow, that looks good.
I filled the wrong one up with pepper.
That's me.
Filled the salt up with pepper, that's all right. And I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to fold it all in together like that. pinch a little bit, and then I'm going to just make sure it's all prepared. Turn it over, and I'm going to squeeze it into a sort of ball shape, but it's more of a. Do another one quickly.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
What a racket.
Are you nearly finished with that?
I am. I am indeed.
All right. I've got some mozzarella in that.
So I'm going to get started on my pasta, if that's
okay.
all right with you.
Yeah, I'm going to take my day balls out in a minute, and I'm going to just put some butter or some olive oil and some garlic on them, some herbs, and put them back in. So really, that's all you're looking at. I've only done 2 for you, but 2 of those. Damp tea towel over the top of them. Put them somewhere warm. I proved mine for an hour or so, I think. So what I'm going to do now, do a bit of clearing. Get rid of my mozzarella. And can I come over your side and take that out of the oven?
Oh, I don't know about that.
All right. Right.
They smell amazing.
They're looking good, they're looking good.
Wow, look at them.
So, and you always know whether they're ready because you need to tap the top of them. If they sound hollow, sounding hollow, sounding hollow. So I'm going to get a quick, I need a garlic.
I'll put some here if you need it.
How are you getting on over there? Is this your bowl here? Is this my bowl?
That's mine, it's got egg white in it.
Oh, okay. You can get us a little bowl out, could you?
Certainly could.
Just from behind you, below the oven there.
All right.
Oh, fabulous, thank you. Oh, and the brush, which I think is, I don't know where the brush is, can't say. Brush is lost. So it's going to crush this garlic up, all pretty roughly. One of the nice things about doing Italian is it's country food, isn't it?
Yeah.
This isn't sort of fancy.
No, we were saying earlier, weren't we? What I love about Italian food is that kind of anything goes. As long as it's fresh and tasty and lovely, you can pretty much eat what you want when you want.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you can have a salad as a main, or a pasta dish, or as a risotto as a starter. It just has to be good food, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think the Italians as well do something which is really, really nice. Is the eating together as the whole. You know, it's an occasion, isn't it? It's all sitting down, it's all the family, all the older generations sitting down together.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we sort of see on TV anyway.
Yeah, yeah, true.
In reality, it's probably not. They probably all argue. Like us lot. Right, a little bit of basil from the herbaria.
So, I'm starting my pasta with just some spring onions, just so you know, so I don't forget.
Spring onions in the pasta.
Spring onions.
You couldn't just have a look for that. I think about the third drawer down. These. It's a red. We go. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Can I just interrupt you quick?
Yeah, of course.
So I've got that, Kath. Can you see that on the show and tell? So that is garlic, basil, and some olive oil, and I'm just going to chuck a load of that onto the top of this.
Wow, that looks amazing. This is not first date food, is it?
No, it's not. I've never really found, I don't know, you know, having lived in Spain, maybe it's just because everyone eats garlic in Spain, so you just don't tell. But it's never really bothered me.
No.
Having said that, I've been married for 25 years and never been closer to anyone than Kath. And
Kath smells amazing.
Right, that's me done.
Are you?
I'm going to the pub now.
Get you. You watch the football.
Well, I thought you were going, I wonder when you were going to ask this.
He wants the warm-up chat.
Are we watching the football? You've been watching the football, haven't you?
Yeah. Not religiously from the start, but I do love... I watched it last night, the Spain-Italy.
That was... I sort of watched bits of it, and literally I had it on, and I was doing some other things, and 60 minutes into it, they'd scored their, Italy had scored their goal. I thought, well, this is it,
Yeah.
And then what was it in the last minute, wasn't it? The last 30 seconds they scored.
Yeah.
And then it just dragged on, and then of course the penalty shootout, which is always good fun, isn't it? As long as you're not in it.
I even switched off Love Island to watch that.
Did you?
I saw that there were penalties and I switched off. That's commitment.
Do you not have 2 TVs?
Or
did you just do it
I could have double screened it really.
Yeah.
But no, I switched off and then went back to it afterwards. Can't miss Love Island. There we go.
So do you want to talk about Love Island rather than the football?
Oh dear.
It just scares me. Young people scare me. Well, not all young people scare me, obviously, because we've got some young people here. But the young, well, particularly the young girls on Love Island scare me. They just seem very, very, I don't know, very forcible and forward and sort of, I don't know, it's just scary generally.
They'd eat you for breakfast, Rich.
They would. They absolutely would. In my dreams, Catherine.
Yeah. Brutal.
I'm gonna do some clearing up.
Right.
So you're very busy there, Lisa. What are you doing?
So we've got some spring onions. You want to aim for maybe 2 or 3 spring onions per person. A couple of cloves of garlic.
Yeah.
Roughly 1 clove per person. And then we're going to be using the corn pieces.
Oh, this camera? Which camera?
This camera.
That camera?
So these are sort of fake chicken pieces. When they come in the plastic box, they're from the fridge. And then if you buy the frozen ones, they're in bags and they're great because they're really easy to store.
Okay. So it's basically the same thing, just in a different shape?
Yes. I think they must be made slightly differently because, I don't know, you can get these or you can get vegan ones as well. So I think there might be some kind of milk product in the vegetarian ones that's obviously not in the vegan ones. But yeah, so add those in and just give them a couple of minutes to get started. And then in a second, we're going to be adding some stock and our Orzo pasta. So there's our Orzo pasta for anyone who's...
warm water for you?
Oh, yes, please.
What did I do with this? It's down in here.
That
little wash out for you.
Can I have, 500 mils,
500
please.
mils?
Yeah. So yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen Orzo pasta, I don't know if you want to have a look on the little camera.
Did you want warm water?
Yes, please. Yeah. So it is pasta, but it kind of looks like rice or risotto rice. And it's a great choice. It's a great option for salads and soups, obviously. But it's also great for sauces because I think the texture, they're so fine and silky, the little pasta pieces. All the sauce sort of sticks really nicely. So it's a really nice one to work with. And obviously it really cooks quickly as well.
And what chilies are you
Bit of a
using?
winner. I'm actually just using chili flakes today.
Are you? Because I do have quite a few fresh chilies.
Do you?
In fact, we had a chili episode.
Well, you could slice me some fresh chilies very, very finely if you fancy it.
We had a chili episode going on.
Oh, really?
Some nights when we're sitting down watching a bit of TV and we have a little bit of supper and we have weird things. We have, I don't know, we cooked up some nice Jersey royal potatoes and had them with a sort of little dip.
Oh!
You know, plate of those. Nice. But a couple of days back we had, I fried up some beautiful garlics. I actually must show you them because they are absolutely lovely from Marks and Spencer's. They were the premium garlics from Marks and Spencer's. Yeah. But they're the big. I'm going to show you that, Catherine.
Wow.
They're really lusciously big ones.
It's so much easier to work with as well, aren't they?
So I opened one of those up and I fried up some garlic and then we had, I don't know if you can see these as well, Kath, an amalgamation of chilies. So I bought these little bird's eye chilies and then we had some red ones and some green ones. And there's a chili that we, it's more a pepper called a padron pepper that we used to eat in Spain a lot.
You have them as a tapas, don't you?
Yeah. And you get a whole pile of them.
Yeah.
1 in 11's always, they say 1 in 11's hot.
Right, okay.
I don't think I've ever found
hot as in crazy hot or just spicy?
No, just a bit spicy.
Fair enough.
So we were sat down, we were eating these peppers, it was all good. And I put one red one in. And Kathy picked it up and bit it.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to show you. It's a big old chili. It's that size. And she bit half of it, started chewing it, swallowed it, and literally went purple, and screamed. And oh my God, that's the.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
I know.
It can be quite dangerous, can't it?
Well, not really, no. No one's died of eating a hot chili, have they?
Have they not? I bet they have.
Do you think so?
I don't know. We'll have to have a little Google.
Yeah. I mean, you see, I went to a chili festival with my friend Mickey down in Dorset.
Yeah.
And it was the Dorset Chili Festival, bizarrely.
Got that,
Cheers. And yeah, they had a chili eating competition there. So they were. This was quite a hot one. I think it was a bird's eye one. So
Fair
but
enough.
it was sort of I couldn't help myself from laughing a little bit.
A little bit.
Funny, but obviously poor old Kath was in pain and. You know.
Oh, bless her. Yeah, we went to a chili. What's it called? The scale of how spicy chilies are. There's a special name.
Oh, there
for it,
is, isn't there? Come on, Kath, what's that?
It's the sort of thing I should know, but I don't.
Chili scale.
My mum would know, and my dad. They'll be watching.
I need a chopping board, but is there a little chopping board underneath there?
There certainly is.
So I'll just do a few of these green ones because they're not terribly hot.
Okay. Do you want this sharpener? Oh, actually, I might need it in a minute.
That's all right. I've got a little knife here. Of course, the thing with chilies is that I'm going to show you in the show and tell cam. When you open them up, I'm going to show you this very quickly. You see that, Cal? So in these chilies, you've got the seeds, and then you've got that. There we go. Can you see that? Is that in focus? No.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. So you've got that white bit in between. That's the hot bit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So actually, when you get your chili, if you then just scrape that off like that.
I didn't know
and
that.
it's the I think it's called the, I don't know if it's called the pith or not.
Because they always say it's the seeds that are spicy,
yeah,
don't
but
they?
it's not. It's that little white. Well, the seeds are spicy as well. But it's that little white sort of vein that runs through it. That wasn't a very good one to show.
That's causing all the trouble, is it?
That's what's causing all the trouble. Yeah.
So just while our pasta, so basically, I feel like I'm doing things and not telling you about it. So we've got our spring onions.
It's very secretive over your cooking.
Spring onions, garlic, corn pieces.
Yeah.
And then we've put in some Orzo pasta. You want to aim for roughly 100 grams per person.
Yeah.
And then I've chucked in about 500 mils of stock. I'm using bouillon. I don't know if people use bouillon.
So I thought bouillon was a beef stock.
No, do you want to see that on the little camera? I just find it so quick and easy. It's brilliant. You just mix it with
it's
stock.
Just a vegetable.
It's just instant stock.
Yeah.
So I've put in about 500 mils of that, and now I've cranked the heat to really get it started. And then in a second, I'll just turn it down and leave it to simmer for roughly 10 minutes.
And how many chilies would you like?
These are just, plenty, because these are just for sort of decoration on the top.
The chilies are?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Shall I cut them a little bit smaller for you then?
Oh yeah, I don't mind, yeah, thank you. And while that's cooking, I'm just going to be prepping some lovely fresh herbs.
Do you like hot food?
I like it, but I just can't take much. Dave will eat anything, but no. I'd love to be able to eat spicier food, but I just don't seem to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just turn that down again now.
So what are we actually cooking then? Are we reducing the stock down mainly?
Yeah, we want that to basically turn into our sauce. Mm. And the reason I love this recipe is that it's kind of like, obviously it's a one pot, so we don't need to worry about too much washing up.
See, we're chatting away.
Oh no.
No, we're good.
Oh, hello.
We're okay.
But the other thing I like is it's the sort of recipe where in the winter, especially you with your cheese sauces and things, I can imagine you would really, really enjoy this with extra butter and wine and cheese and make it like quite a comfort food kind of a dish. Whereas today we're doing more of a summer, fresh tasting, sort of lemony, fresh herbs, sort of a slightly healthier kind of version, but you can sort of pick and choose. So the herbs we're using are fresh basil. Mm-hmm. I love basil and I think it goes really, really well, obviously with Italian cookery, but also with the other flavours we've got, like the lemon and the chilli and things. We've got some parsley, and we're also going to be using a few chives.
Lovely. We use so much basil, Lisa.
Do you?
Yeah, so much. Basil and black pepper.
Yes. You can't really go wrong, can you? But obviously do whatever suits your taste. Like I prefer basil, so I'm going to put in more basil and then a little bit of parsley and some chives.
I've been using sage a lot because I planted a big sage bush outside, and I've never really used sage. It's a horrible plant to grow. Sometimes it just doesn't grow some places.
Right.
We planted it in a raised bed, and it's gone mad.
Oh, really?
But yeah, for beef and stuff like that, it's really good.
Butternut squash.
Yeah.
And sage,
yeah,
marriage made in heaven. There we go. So that's ready for in a minute. And then the other thing we're going to add are some fresh summer vegetables in a minute. So we've obviously got the spring onions in there, but we're also going to add some little tender stem broccoli, little mini broccoli, and some really cute, look at these little asparagus tips, but look at that.
Beautiful.
It's tiny. And I don't think we really even need to take the ends off these.
You're not snapping them?
Well, I don't think you do, because I bought the tips.
You just can't snap them, no.
Nothing
I bet they
snapping.
went from the UK, they were they?
Oh, I don't know. What I'll do to be safe is I'll just chop the very ends off.
Okay.
I don't think I need to.
Because I've noticed that the British asparagus is
really, really fat,
good.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I could tell you a very quick asparagus story.
go for it.
When we lived in Spain, Kathy and I, we lived in the countryside, and we had quite a bit of land. And we've never really got into asparagus for some reason over there. And one of our neighbours would come around and say, "You've got fresh asparagus like growing around the perimeter of your house. Would you mind if I pick some of it?" And no, help yourself. And he would literally pick, sort of big handfuls,
Yeah.
He said, you sure you don't want some? No, we really don't like it. And they
You don't
looked
like it?
exactly like that.
Do you not like it?
Yeah, I absolutely love asparagus. For some reason, we hadn't. I don't know. It's just one of those
Sort of
things that you
discovered
just
it
hadn't come
properly,
across, and I just thought I didn't like it. I don't know. I think what it was is actually in Spain they do those white asparaguses out of a tin.
Yeah, they're really
put them on
slimy.
a salad sometimes, and they don't look very nice.
No, they're super slimy.
Not something I would want to put in my mouth, and they're slimy. So I sort of just didn't, And now we get asparagus, fry it in a bit of butter for 2 minutes, and we love it.
One of the loveliest meals I ever had was in a pub it was in Clifton, and they did poached eggs, and then they'd done on the side asparagus that was deep fried or coated in breadcrumbs, and they used those as little soldiers, and they served it with homemade hollandaise sauce. It's absolutely amazing.
I do like a hollandaise sauce as well. Generally like lots of food.
Your favourite food is lots.
Well, my favourite food really, I think, has got to be cheese because of the versatility of it. If I really don't know what to eat, cheese on toast.
What about beans on toast?
No.
You couldn't survive in our house if you didn't like beans on toast.
I can't remember the last time I had
staple.
beans on toast.
My goodness
Probably when I was
me.
a poor student.
Really?
Yeah. Kathy has spaghetti hoops on toast sometimes, and she's
Good
feeling a
girl.
little bit
Good girl.
wanting.
Yeah. So I'll leave that to do, and I'll start assembling the Caesar salad.
I'm going to take
Oh,
the
I can't
off.
forget my lemon.
Oh, they are lovely and crispy.
So you're a complete convert now. Are you always going to make these?
Yeah.
Will you ever spend £2 on 6 dough balls again?
Because if you think about it, I think that thing of flour was about £2.50.
Yeah.
I've used
300 grams.
300 grams, yeah. There's 150, a 1.5 kilo bag, so about 50p's worth of flour.
Yeah.
And we've made loads of them.
And they'll be lovely.
And they will be lovely. I'm going to cut one open and just see if it oozes cheese.
It will.
I'm hoping it will. Let's cut it in half.
So a bit of lemon zest
Thank
going
you.
in here just to add to that fresh summer flavour.
Oh, yeah. Smell that.
It's lovely, isn't it? You could pretty much have made this whole dish from your garden.
Oh,
You happy?
all right, if you can. You see that, Kath? Rip it open, look. So you've got really lovely light flour. You can see my basil and some. I'm going to stick one down over there. I'm not going to eat that one. Well, I'm going to eat it later, of course. Can I top your prosecco up? You're okay?
Oh, we need to make our scrappino, don't we?
Yeah.
Right, I'll quickly make this then.
Okay.
So, got our corn fillets from earlier.
And they've obviously cooled down a little bit.
They've cooled down, so they're all good to go. And if you know, an alternative, sometimes if I don't have corn fillets, like in the corn fillet drought I've just been through, then just a poached egg on top of this would be lovely.
There for you.
Oh, thank you.
You do some more things for it.
Yeah, we're going to have some freshly sort of shaved
Oh,
pecorino.
there we go.
Just
Can
amazing.
I just have a little taste of that?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
Tell me what you think.
Yeah, it tastes like my socks. That's pretty much a parmesan, isn't it?
Yeah, happy with that?
How can something that really, by itself, it's horrible, isn't it, parmesan?
Yeah.
What are you looking
Might
for?
put a tiny, I was looking for the measuring jug again.
All right.
But I should put a drop more water
Okay.
in. And then, we need to get
Yeah, I
our...
mean, it's dry and it tastes like a pair of old socks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you mix it with stuff,
Oh, would you like a crouton?
yeah, I think I need the crouton. Thank you very much.
So, some of our homemade croutons over the top.
Mmm. Very nice.
And then,
Oh, yeah, it's lush.
all right, aren't they? Considering...
That's so much nicer than the ones I fry up in.
So much nicer generally than the ones you buy. And again, how often are you left with the bum of a loaf of bread and you think, oh, I'll just chuck that. And it's just so... If you whip some of them up and put them in an airtight tub, they'll last for a couple of weeks.
And you just put them in the oven to freshen them up, don't you?
Yeah. Right, so last job over here, we're going to add some peas. Again, nice summer flavours.
Oh,
And I'm also
chuck
going to...
a handful of peas and everything.
Oh yeah, why
You know,
not?
pasta, curries. Just a bit of goodness for the kids, isn't it? A bit more goodness.
Exactly. I'm working on peas with my older son. He's not a fan. But we're working on it.
Nothing to like, not to like, really, is there?
Exactly. My little niece used to eat them frozen from the freezer. And they're actually surprisingly nice. They just, yeah.
What's that expression? I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life.
Yeah.
They do taste rather funny, but it keeps them on the knife.
Exactly.
It's Roald Dahl, isn't it?
Oh, was it?
I watched a documentary about him yesterday.
Did you?
Very strange man. He used to write everything in this
Little potting shed,
yeah,
didn't
little
he?
potting shed, which he refused to have cleaned for like 20 years. And he had this whole thing where he had this sort of old armchair and a sort of and a blanket that goes around him, and then he had this sort of board that was made, and then he had to sharpen 6 pencils, have these 6 pencils lined up, and then he would sit there and write.
Wow.
I mean, thank God, because
Yeah.
probably one of the...
We've just finished reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and we're now onto the Great Glass Elevator. So
Are your kids too early for the Fantastic Mr. Fox film?
I don't know about the film actually. I've not seen it myself, so I should check
It's
it
scary.
out. But yeah, I think my older son's just been reading it at school, so
It's got that sort of Watership Down-esque sort
Yeah,
of, you know,
sad
they'll probably
but
cry in
lovely.
the middle of it type of
yeah.
thing.
Oh, can't forget our dressing, can we?
Oh, no.
Don't want to be doing that. So,
Can I have a little
of
spoon?
course you can. Hang on, let's pop it in here. And then,
I'm going to top. Do you want a little top up?
yeah,
There
go
we
on
go.
then.
Small one.
Thank you. There we go.
It's very yellow, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do love a good yellow dressing.
Okay, just drizzle some of that on.
Oh, wow. Now, you told me you haven't eaten anything today, so are you salivating? Are you going to stay for half an hour?
This is, oh no, I've got to go home for the football.
Oh, God, the football,
Yeah, I'd love to stay.
What time's the kick-off?
8 o'clock.
Is it?
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Be brutal. Tell me what you think. It's a bit like you and the dough balls. I'm a complete convert. So quick and easy.
Oh,
Why would you ever buy?
that's lush.
Isn't it nice?
I think it is. That's really super cheesy, isn't it? Well, I was just thinking about Kath. Would she eat that? Kath would eat sort of stuff that isn't. She'd eat cheese that's not super cheesy. In fact, she actually had a piece of cheese the other day because we said this doesn't taste like cheese, it tastes like butter,
Yeah.
and she really liked it. But that.
Yeah, I
you
don't
tasted
think there's
it.
any.
Oh, and the garlic hit as well.
There's no denying that it's quite cheesy.
Have you tasted it yet?
Yeah, well, not here, but yeah, I've tasted it at home.
I think we need the vodka.
Oh yes, we need to do the vodka. Don't let us forget. Right, so that is pretty much done.
Shall I start arranging? Are we going to put some of?
Yeah.
Is that going on the top of
got
the
all our
Caesar
fresh
salad,
herbs. No, that's going on top of this.
Okay.
I've got some ricotta in a minute.
Let me put that down here.
Okay. So those fresh herbs that we were chopping earlier.
Oh yeah.
Basil, parsley, chives. That's gone in.
When you've got a second, if you get us a little side plate, a little blue side plate, the top right. That's it.
Oh.
Bottom right even.
Bottom right. Oh, there we go.
Thank you very much.
And get some of this in here.
Tidy as you go. Oh,
Tidy as you go.
I'm going to copyright the phrase, but that is goodness in a bowl, isn't it?
It really is. And you know, it's so easy to make that a bit naughty. What I'm going to do just quickly, I've got some sort of Italian rocket salad here. I have dabbled with making an Italian dressing, but so many of the flavours are really, really similar to what's already in there anyway, and it almost gets a bit much.
And I think, in fact, with the Caesar salad is really quite powerful, isn't it?
Exactly. So I'm just going to go simple with a little bit of olive oil, and then what I was going to do was pop a little bit on top of that.
Lovely. There's your
with some ricotta. Okay.
Some ricotta on the side.
A little bit of ricotta, why not?
Wow.
A few fresh chilies. If that's your thing. And we've also got a little bit of cheese left over if we need it.
Are we going to do our pudding quickly?
Should we just quickly? It's so quick and
let's do
easy.
it,
Yeah, it's one of my favourite things ever. We can't really call it pudding, but we can.
Okay.
We can get away with it, I reckon.
We can.
So,
for those who know me, it's because there is a certain amount of alcohol needed for it.
So, this is called scroppino, and they love it in Italy. They serve it almost everywhere.
And you need the prosecco as well.
But yeah, so we're going to put a couple of teaspoons of lemon sorbet in the bottom of the glass. And then a little teaspoon of vodka. Okay. Mix that up together. And then just top it up with prosecco or champagne or whatever. It's so lovely, and they use it over there as like a palate cleanser. But it's such a nice alternative to a pudding at the end of a nice meal when you want something but you don't know what. It's so lovely. So turn that into a
mint leaf on it.
A mint leaf, yeah, why not?
Oh, you have to go in the garden to get the mint.
Oh no, yeah, that's why not. There we go. That was some of the prosecco. I ran out of, well, I couldn't get hold of, I ran out and then I couldn't get hold of lemon sorbet. So I ended up doing this with raspberry sorbet as well.
Oh, I bet that was nice.
That was really nice. So don't be put off if you haven't got the exact ingredients.
So this is sort of more of something you would drink, is it, rather than...
Yeah, I mean, in Italy, they often do them and they are like slush puppies. They're really kind of frozen. They are amazing. But all the recipes I found just say to use lemon sorbet. So who am I to argue
Can we
with
do a cheers with them at the end of the day?
ease and speed? Yeah, why not? That's it.
Excellent. Put them in front of your
Okay.
dinner. I'm going to come in with the show and tell cam, and we're just going to show everyone what we've got. So, just tell us, Lisa.
So, we're starting off over here with the Caesar salad.
Okay.
So that's with corn fillets and homemade dressing, homemade croutons, some romaine lettuce, got to be romaine, some shavings of parmesan or pecorino cheese, and then we've got orzo pasta with chicken pieces and a mixture of summer vegetables. So we've got peas, asparagus, tips, tender stem broccoli, garlic, spring onions, and then we've got a lightly dressed rocket salad with some ricotta and fresh chilies on top. And then we've got some fabulous homemade mozzarella and basil dough balls, and then little palate cleanser at the end, scroppino.
Excellent. Let's pick this up.
Yeah, let's do a little cheers.
Let's do a little cheers.
I hope you like it.
Vodka and Prosecco.
Impossible not
I think I might do. I think we're on the wide one, so we're going to say what we're doing next time, Lise.
Oh my goodness.
We discussed it, did we?
No,
We
what
thought
do you
about a
fancy?
Thai curry, didn't we?
Maybe a Thai
Yeah.
with I've got some really nice Thai recipes with the peppered steak I was talking about earlier.
Oh,
I'm like,
yes,
that's the best one I've got, but yeah, we can do that.
Fabulous. Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone, and join us next Wednesday. Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next Wednesday, but it's going to be something fun. And then the Wednesday after with Lisa Marie. So thanks very much for joining us on COOKBARN TV. Subscribe, like us, do all the other things that one needs to do on social networking that I don't really know about. But watch us anyway. That's the most important thing. Thanks very much again. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.